Is a kitty more powerful than Jerome Powell? Does he have more influence over the market that we know as Wall Street and crypto markets? We're going to find out on the other side of the intro. Stick with me. Some of you all will know Keith Gill as the man who went ahead and named himself Roaring Kitty. Well, he's back, and he's coming back with roaring applause, sending GameStop price soaring and earning multiple halts. It's becoming a bit of a trophy. If you could NFT a halt, it may be worth something here. Headline reads, GameStop trading paused 9 times as Roaring Kitty returns drives meme rally. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This could be an important moment where there is a rotation of retail back into the meme stock space and into crypto. It's been the hallmark, it's been the motif, it's been the theme of many of beginnings of face-melting phases of bull markets. We turn to the Bitcoin charts here for a little bit of historic reference. I'm here on the 4-hour chart, seeing that presently we are seeing a breakout for Bitcoin. Now, this breakout had been forming before Roaring Kitty went ahead and made his tweet, which came out yesterday, actually at 8 p.m. So yesterday, 8 p.m. Was when the tweet went out. Bitcoin started pumping around midnight of last night. Pumping, probably too strong of a word to describe Bitcoin here, but we are up roughly 3% from midnight last night. Now at Eastern Standard Time. Now, taking a look here at Bitcoin, just zooming out a bit, you can see that we've spent some time here in the golden pocket. That was our low, right? That was our low for the end of April, the beginning of May, and we've now gone ahead and printed a higher low. And so we like to have fun, and we like to do technical analysis here at the Investing Bros. If you're having fun already, if you're getting a little bit of value, make sure that you go ahead and smash the like button. Also consider subscribing. If you've tuned into the Investing Bros before, then you know that we deliver a lot of value. We get into the news that matters to your crypto portfolio, and sometimes we have fun as well. Going back onto the weekly charts here for Bitcoin, you can see that Bitcoin is not exploding quite as much as GameStop quite yet. But when we start to draw a correlation between the time that we had headlines in 2021 that involved the following here. I've got them pulled up. GameStop, halt. Then we had a pretty big explosion for Bitcoin. We're going to check that out here in just a second. But taking a little bit of a step back before we get into the comparison of GameStop and Bitcoin and potentially this being an omen, a motif of the phase of the cycle that we're in now, could be a new bullish thesis, a new buy thesis for bulls all across the spectrum, whether they be retail, whether they be VC, whether they be institutional, or starting to get into some of those deeper pockets with fiduciaries in the pension fund industry, right? This could be the moment for all of those wealth tranches to go ahead and rotate into Bitcoin. After all, we are in a bull market, and we have already printed all-time highs before the halving. A lot of folks have been waiting for a moment to get in, waiting for a pullback of which we have gotten. Right on time as well for a lot of indicators, including the Fibonacci here, which has been tapped to go ahead and illustrate the top end, the all-time high for Bitcoin, as well as the bottom of the golden pocket, which served as support for this wick low on the weekly chart. So that's the weekly chart. Let's go ahead and take a look at the daily chart again. We're going to go ahead and compare this moment in 2021 where GameStop and halting was in headlines all across not just crypto media, not just degenerate stock websites like Wall Street Bets on Reddit, but on mainstream media as well, mainstream financial news and mainstream in general. We're going to go ahead and check out that comparison. But let's do a little bit of a moment here for Bitcoin in general. I'm going to throw in the Bollinger Bands, and you can see that we've been fighting to keep above these downtrending lines of what were resistance, now support, that one, and this one as well. We fought to get above them, and we have somewhat effectively printed above them, although we would have liked to have seen more enthusiasm, and that has left bulls scratching their heads. Where is the enthusiasm? We're getting these technical breakouts, but where is the move to the upside? Where is the moon? Where is the Lambo? One might ask in the space, and we're not seeing them quite yet, unless you zoom out, and then where's Lambo? Lambo right here. But we always want more, don't we? We always want more. It's never enough. So when Lambo, it's a tough question, and I think that for all through this period, Tim and I we've been answering that question. It's not when Lambo, it's when 48,000 Bitcoin, right? Because we need to have pullbacks when we have astronomical moves, face melting moves to the upside that we have arguably seen since the bear market of this cycle. So where does that leave us? What do we do? Well, we got a big print today. It wasn't from the CPI. It wasn't from JP Morgan. It wasn't from anything other than a tweet, a single tweet here from Roaring Kitty. And it's literally just a picture of a person playing a video game that leans forward to intensify their concentration on the video game. But because of the context of who this account is, Roaring Kitty, and because of the context of the price action of GameStop last cycle, there is actually some analysis to be done. So let's take a look here at the weekly chart for GameStop. And what we're trying to do here is triangulate. Is there any significance to these times lining up? Can we draw any conclusions? And a lot of this is going to be done in real time. Your boy T-Shroom is really earning his weight in gold here. So make sure that you all smash the like button, not just for me, but for the lovely television hosts at CBS News. All right, I couldn't find the like. Where the heck is that smash the like button? I can't find it. So you're going to have faith that you can smash the like button without a visual stimulant to do so. I have faith in you bros that you can make it happen. Go ahead and smash that like button. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. All right, so this was the date here from this article was January 28th, 2021. All right, so let's go back and take a look at January 8th, 2021. That would be right here before this gigantic move to the upside. Okay, so obviously we're getting a confirmation. The last time we saw these headlines here, where it said GameStop and Halt trading in the same headline, and this was everywhere, right? It made it all the way to CBSNews.com. The day that GameStop went ahead and printed. Let's go all the way to the top of the wick. That would have been 2,600% gain this is a weekly chart, so that would have been probably less than a 24-hour period, but obviously crazy momentum, crazy movement during that time. Let's look at the oscillators during this moment. This would have been pretty crazy. You can see the MACD absolutely skyrocketed after just having like very, very little movement. Again, for those of you maybe who are unfamiliar with this, you're coming into crypto, you're coming into investments for the first time, GameStop is not a company that should be valued in current valuations because its fundamental value is very questionable. They sell physical copies of games that can now be purchased through a superior technology known as digital downloading of games, right? But people like the stock, and it is now kind of in the classification of a meme stock, a stock that's value is not necessarily derived by the goods and services that is sold by the underlying business, nor by the revenues or expenses of that company. So this trading action here from GameStop, again, if you're completely new to the meme stock world, is mostly synthetic, is meme. It's not real movements based on earnings reports or CEOs coming in and out of retirement or things like this. Not fundamental. This is meme. It's not fundamental. It's not technical. It's meme. All right. So the obvious next step here would be to go to January 28th, 2021. Let's triple check the dates here. January 28th, 2021, specifically 7:30 Eastern Standard. Let's see if we can pinpoint that as well over on the Bitcoin charts. So let's not do that one. Let's go with Kraken where it's a little less crazy. Oh, did I already highlight this? I may have. Let's see. January. Nope, this is June. So we want to go to January 28th. And it's looking good, bros. It's looking good. Again, I'm literally doing this analysis live time. By the way, where the heck is Tim? I'm sorry, Tim. Goodness gracious. Where the heck is Tim? This is a 3 p.m. stream. This isn't the 9 p.m. stream that I do alone. Tim is not feeling good. His throat is on fire, was his words. And he said, we were kind of planning the show. He said over text, hey, T-Shroom, this is the biggest thing right now is this GameStop correlation with Bitcoin. And he didn't show me any analysis, right? But this was his impulse. So we're jumping into it here. All right, we're on the weekly chart. But the week of January 1st, 28th is what we're looking for. January 28th. Let's keep it real here. Let's keep it real. January, there we go, 28th. So this would have been that month, January 25th, but the week of the 28th. From there, this is where Bitcoin was. So Bitcoin, wow, this is pretty good. So Bitcoin had already had a move up, right? And then it was on a pretty big pullback. One of the biggest pullbacks of the bull move for this bit of trading. So to compare that to where we are now, it's pretty darn close, right? And obviously Bitcoin's a fractal, right? What do I mean by that? A fractal is well, how do you describe a fractal? I don't know how to describe it, but it is one. If you don't know what that means, look it up. So what we could expect from here, considering we have the moment, right? We've got the headlines from GameStop. What we can do here, and this is a degenerate technical analysis move. By no means do I believe with any degree of certainty that this is going to happen about what I'm about to show you. But similar to how we had a move here, right? We had a move up and then a pullback. All right, let me just redraw that a little bit more zoomed in. Okay, we had a move up and then a pullback followed by a move higher. Right, and this move higher from the bottom accounted for, let's go from the wick, accounted for 123%, right? So that would be kind of in the ballpark of what we might expect. Ballpark, doing a lot of work in that sentence. But let's, hopefully you're with me. Hopefully this isn't completely crazy. I'm going to check in on the chat here just to see what you all are thinking. But you look at this fractal you could kind of consider, and it's a very similar story. Bitcoin on the weekly chart trading above the weekly midline of the Bollinger Band. You have the same situation here. Okay, so what we could potentially conclude is that similarly we have a move, a pullback. I think I called this something else earlier. A movement, a dumpski, and a pumpski. That's what it was. I remembered. Usually my memory's terrible. But we have a move higher, right? The dumpski, and I think this is where we are now in relation to where we were, right? It would make sense for the next movement to be a pumpski, right? A move significantly higher, something in the realm of 123%. Let's make that calculation here live. Again, all of this is live, so if I'm making any mistakes, definitely let me know down in the chat. But 123% would put us at $140,000 Bitcoin. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. That would be below where a lot of estimates are from everyone from, I believe, Standard Chartered's prediction stands at 150,000 Bitcoin price by the end of 2024, right? So this may be the trigger for the rotation of retail back into crypto that we've been waiting for, and that would but all of this theorizing that $140,000 Bitcoin price prediction, right, back of the napkin, all rests basically on this historic headline being very similar to this headline: GameStop trading paused 9 times and Roaring Kitty return drives meme coin rally, right? So there's a similarity between this headline that we see for the first time in 2024 in the bull market here for the risk assets across the board of meme stocks and crypto. We see that for the first time here May 13th at present. Historically, we saw it on January 28th, 2021, a very similar headline, and that did go ahead and mark right here the push up and the potentially you could make an argument the more mainstream rotation of retail investors into Bitcoin as a result of what we're seeing with over at GameStop. So I have beaten this to a pulp, I believe. If you're not getting it yet, you might not be able to. Tim Warren here, you may have heard of him, said, I wanted to go on today, but I literally can't talk. Some people's dreams come true. Oh, Tim. Yeah, and look, it happens. Luckily, you've got your bro, Big T Shroom, to come in and make it happen here. And we're loving it. So let's keep on moving here. Let's look into the chat and see what's going on. Trump is a snoring kitty, says Dusty Hunt. Trump, of course, referring to the coin and maybe even the meme stock. I'm not super up to date on all of that. But let's see. What else we got? Eric Wallen saying, oh, hey, Tim. Let's see what else we got. Chat. You've got my attention on this correlation. Go on. I like it. I like it. Real men don't have sick days. Ooh. Shots fired there from Eric Wallen. Calling out Tim. Tim, he manages to make it to the chat, but he can't make it on stream. Of course, we're just jesting here. Having a bit of fun at the expense of someone who's already down. Kicking a bro while he's down is not what we believe in here. So Eric Wallen, you better watch it. You're on thin ice. You're on thin ice. No, of course, we're all having fun here. All right, what else is said here? Let's see some of the first ones into the chat. Username said +3 was one of the first. Good afternoon. Of course, we had Kyle Field saying AMC calls crashing nicely today. House money now. Very cool. Did you time some calls on AMC? Because it isn't. Well, I was going to get to that, but it's not just GameStop. It's some of the other meme stocks. I wonder if BlackBerry is still going. I don't even know if that's still around. But AMC, definitely another one of the meme stocks. Can't decide if I want pizza or Thai for dinner today. Definitely go Thai. Definitely Thai. Pizza's good, but it's something to do when, the logistics are complicated. You're having to meet outside for a birthday party. Pizza every time, right? But if you have the option of Thai or pizza, I think you go Thai. Let me know in the comments, would you go pizza or Thai for dinner tonight? Kyle Fields updating us here said, bought 6 AMC calls this morning, and I'm shocked they're almost in the money. Let's go. Let's go, bro. For those of you who aren't familiar with options trading, calls are when you basically bet that a asset is going to go to the upside. So Kyle Fields there could be making some serious dough off of the upward movement today. Let's see. We've got a thoughtful comment here. Troublesome Creek said, I just had a thought. Interesting. What if after this bull run, there aren't the sell-offs like we've seen before? ETFs now and exchange, changing the cycle. So this is something you're coming to a conclusion that many market commentators have come to as well, which means you must be smart. So I think that there is a possibility that the way that I've heard it articulated is there's going to be more stability, less volatility in crypto, specifically Bitcoin, after this cycle, and there could be very limited selling as the market matures and identifies crypto and digital assets in general as integral, as moving forward to be taken more and more serious. It's not a meme, right? However, the very fact that I'm comparing the start of a Bitcoin retail rally to this moment of GameStop and historical trends kind of tells you that there are still a lot of folks who view Bitcoin as a meme. Not that it's necessarily a bad thing, but in order for the volatility to be reduced, you do need much more buy-only and mature money rotating into the asset, right? That is, by definition, something that does have to happen. Does it have to happen for Bitcoin in order for it to be profitable over the long term? No. Is it necessarily going to be happening this cycle? It's the most likely it's ever been for Bitcoin to become less volatile, in my opinion, in this cycle because of a lot of the institutions gaining access to Bitcoin, basically coming in and creating a slowdown, stability, right, in the asset. And that's good. Got some prints coming in the rest of the week here. Tuesday, we hear from Fed Chair Powell. Maybe you've heard of him. We also get the PPI print. And then Wednesday, my dudes will have Caleb Franzen on to break down the core inflation and the CPI prints there. Lots going to be very impactful. Actually, this is going to be a significant print. Covered this morning. But currently, we're forecasting the headline inflation here. The forecast is 3.7, so we are expecting to shed 0.1% here. In consensus, actually expects us to shed 0.2%. If there's a disappointment there, that tells Jerome Powell that he needs to keep those rates higher. That's a price go down for Bitcoin event. If these numbers can be beat, right, to the downside, and we get an actual print right here on Wednesday, we get a print that says 3.5 and it beats consensus and forecast, that's a price go up for Bitcoin scenario and for risk assets on the stock side as well. Why? Because that is telling the Federal Reserve, right, Jerome Powell, that, hey, actually, inflation is under control. And so we may start to cut rates earlier. Now, take all of that with the biggest grain of salt that you can imagine with your very strong imagination. Because between the time between now and when the Federal Reserve actually make that decision to cut, there can be all kinds of events, namely more CPI prints, right? But we have thoroughly covered the CPI print section of the show. We have not gotten the print. They're coming on. I hear it. Everybody said it. Wednesday. Very nice. Let's go ahead and jump on into some more stories because it's not just GameStop. There's actually another very, very exciting story. But before we leave, GameStop, check this out. So I don't know if this is real. I made some attempt to validate this, but from Watcher.guru said GameStop GME stock trading halted for a fifth time after surging 110% today. Short sellers have lost approximately $1 billion. Ooh, not good. Not good at all. Bruh. GameStop, though, you'll recognize this is from Robinhood. Some stock exchanges, not Robinhood, have temporarily halted trading for GME. So I will attest, I did not get this notification when I looked at GameStop on my Robinhood app, but I did enter and exit a $1 trade for GameStop. I'm not going to play this. This isn't my thing. I'm too busy during the day to sit here and partake in these shenanigans. However, I can confirm that I went in and out of a GameStop on share on Robinhood without any issues. So as of now, or as of like probably 2:58 is when I did the trade on Robinhood. Entering and exiting a position was available. Not an options, just not options, not a put or a call, just straight up spot, baby. Right down the middle. GameStop, spot on the money. Well, it didn't stop there. I can't remember who went ahead and dropped this in the chat, but I think it might have been Kyle Fields, talked about AMC. Kyle Fields, always ahead of the game. Said, breaking, AMC Entertainment stock is now on a massive 60% today, adding $600 million of market cap. AMC has traded an entire free float today, and the market hasn't even closed yet. In other words, AMC has traded 300 million shares today. It's equivalent to 18 times the stock's average daily volume. Goodness gracious. Meme stocks have officially added more than 10 billion in market cap today. Short covering is an understatement. Yeah. So be careful if you're out there shorting meme stocks. I wouldn't do it. And you may have, if you're a seasoned, even experienced trader, you may be looking at GameStop and AMC, right, and meme coins and thinking, ooh, such an obvious short. I'm going to make money when these come back down. This is day one. This is day one of games of Roaring. Well, what is it? It's day one of Roaring Kitty posting something on Twitter. Could this fizzle out and be a nothing burger and be overblown and there was some coordinated media efforts? It's possible. But as of now, I am not shorting nothing attached to any kind of hype train. 0% am I going to be shorting GameStop or AMC or anything like that. So that's my conclusion on that. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see what the chat's up to. Then we'll get into our next big story. And this one's big. This one's big, and it's got some videos. And you guys know I love my clips, so we're going to get into them. Let's see. I don't know who this is. Senza said, I was in on the AMC squeeze 4 years ago. Learned the hard way. Big money wins. Right. All right, let's see. Cube said, all exchanges do that. Gets halted if it shoots up too much, too fast, and likewise when it goes down. Thanks for tuning in there, Cube. Brian said, I'm up 205% on GME. Wow, you must be in a call. Thanks for not shorting, said Joseph Lapaza. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to be shorting anything today across the board. Today, because this is why I'm excited, right? This is why the thumbnail is uber exciting, right? Today, because this could be a moment where retail goes ahead and rotates back in. We could potentially see I wouldn't put it past Bitcoin to have a $65,000, even $70,000 Bitcoin by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, right? It's possible. That's not that far away, right? A $65,000 Bitcoin. Am I saying this is going to happen? I'm absolutely not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying it could. If we see a rotation into Bitcoin, $65,000 is only 4% away from where we are right now. I'm on the weekly chart, right? All the way back up to, let's go crazy. Let's go $75,000 per Bitcoin, right? That's only going to be a 20% move. Can Bitcoin move that fast in a day? You tell me. You tell me. I think it has. I think it absolutely has moved that much in a day in the past. But you break it down into one weekend, and absolutely it's hit that kind of a home run. And after all, GameStop up 73% right now, right? At some point, this is, if we have similar conditions, now you're going to make the argument. Now, a lot of this was stimmy checks, right? A lot of this was just dumb money coming in, post-pandemic money that would given out by the government. And you had all those business loans that were just giving money to businesses because their staff didn't come to work and things like that. You're right. You're absolutely right. So we may not see this level of explosion, a 6,000 percent wick in like a week, 400% wick in a week, right? But so far, GameStop up 280%. So now up 205. I can't remember. Did somebody say they were up 150%? Because that would not be possible if you went spot. You would have had to have gone leveraged or call options. So, all right, let's keep moving here. Trucknado said, let's do it. Can you believe that? Truckdado said, let's do it. That's crazy. That is crazy. Cube said, I think you can make 70K Bitcoin happen in a day, T-Shroom. I can? I think you have a lot of faith. in T-Shroom's influence on the market. I don't know. Maybe I am underestimating myself. Maybe I need to post an image like Roaring Kitty did. Maybe that's what'll get Bitcoin to $75,000 by tomorrow morning. What would you do if you woke up and Bitcoin was at $75,000? Let me know in the comments. Would you sell it? Would you buy it? Would you hold it? $75,000 tomorrow. Would you buy it? If your answer is buy it, then you should be buying it right now because you'd be an idiot to wait. Not financial advice. Well, bros, we are at the halfway mark of the show. I don't know if I'll go the whole way. We might. There's a good chance we'll go over, right? It just depends how engaged the chat is. So far, I'm seeing a decent amount of engagement, but I need like a flower needs the rain. I need you to smash that like button. And in addition to smashing the like button, can you guess what's going to be next? Subscribe. Subscribe to the Investing Bros. It's going to be your keys to the kingdom of financial freedom. I don't know what kingdom you thought I was talking about, but I was only talking about the kingdom of financial freedom, which, hey, if the kingdom of financial freedom truly is free, then I wouldn't mind living under a feudal system. Democracy, where's the monarch? That's what I say. OpenAI launches new AI model and desktop versions of ChatGPT. This man here was on the All In podcast, Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, the guy who is not super close with Elon Musk anymore because Elon invested in OpenAI and then they basically weren't all that open and then they sold to Microsoft. Kinda. But then there's like all this nonprofit stuff going on. Anyway, he was on the All In podcast. I listened to the whole thing. And, he was hinting at basically what they announced today, which I'm going to get to in just a second. Be patient. Be patient. Goodness. The new model is called ChatGPT 4.0, which I think is supposed to be turbo. This has not been properly marketed, in my opinion, because I don't understand how to pronounce this. But that's the name of it, according to CNBC and everything else that I've seen. This is the first time that we are really making a huge step forward when it comes to ease of use. OpenAI technology chief Mira Murati said in a live stream event, T-Shroom, shut the heck up. We want to see those clips you're talking about. All right, let's run them.
Try to do English Italian. Sure, let's do it. Hey, ChatGPT, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. How about you? How's your day going?
I'm doing great. So I would like you to function as a translator. I have a friend here who only speaks Italian, and I only speak English. And every time you hear English, I want you to translate it to Italian. And if you hear Italian, I want you to translate it back to English. Is that good?
Perfetto.
Mark, io mi chiedo se le balene potessero parlare, cosa ci direbbero?
Mike, she wonders if whales could talk, what would they tell us?
They might ask, how do we
Buy Bitcoin.
solve linear equations?
Potrebbero chiederci come risolviamo le equazioni lineari.
Sicuramente sì.
Certainly, yes.
Great. It looks like it works.
All right. Well, I'm in love. Just kidding. A little bit of a shout out to the movie Her. There, if you've seen the movie Her, then you know what I'm talking about. So that wasn't the only clip. It looks like there's a lot more that I haven't. Oh my gosh, there's a ton that I haven't seen. But this one I did watch. So let's take a look. Let's take a listen, bros.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey there. It's going great. How about you? I see you're rocking an OpenAI hoodie. Nice choice. What's up with that ceiling about? Are you in a cool industry-style office or something?
Well, can you take a guess at what I might be doing based on what I'm showing you here?
From what I can see, it looks like you're in some kind of recording or production setup. With those lights, tripods, and possibly a mic, it seems like you might be gearing up to shoot a video or maybe even a live stream. Are
Yeah.
you content?
In fact, we've got a new announcement to make.
That's exciting. Announcements are always a big deal. Judging by the setup, it looks like it's going to be quite the professional production. Is this announcement related to OpenAI, perhaps?
It is.
I'm intrigued.
And in fact, what if I were to say that you're related to the announcement or that you are the announcement?
Me? The announcement is about me? Well, color me intrigued. Are you about to reveal something about AI? Or more specifically about me as a part of OpenAI? You've got me on the edge of my, well, I don't really have a seat, but you get the idea. What's the big news?
Yeah, we've got a new model that can interact with the world through audio, vision, and text.
Okay. Well, as an announcement, it's like meta announcement. It's like, hey, not the company Meta. It's like meta, like what the word meta means. It's not an actual announcement. It's just an interaction asking the AI if it's an announcement. Interesting. There's more. There's more to it.
What does it see and ask questions?
We're not going to watch it all, but clearly this is a pretty big step. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely making me think of the movie Her. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this movie, it was really good. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. It's from a while ago now. I don't remember what year this came out, but had Joaquin Phoenix in it, Scarlett Johansson, Amy Adams. Maybe you've heard of them. But you're not here because of movies. Who cares about the American movie industry? It's about technology and investment, right? And so I wanted to bring to light AI because I believe with this update, there are now also releasing the video component that they teased a couple of months ago. Now, this doesn't go live quite yet. I believe that there's, according to this tweet here that we just watched, text and image input rolling out today in API and ChatGPT with voice and video in the coming weeks. So the text and image input rolling out. So you can basically send images and it can like process images and do things with that. That's going to be coming out now. And then in a couple of weeks is this video that has been showcased by OpenAI. So T-Shroom, how do I get exposure to OpenAI if I want to invest, if I think this is the next big thing? Well, it's actually somewhat simple. If you're an American, you can just pop open your stock brokerage and buy Microsoft because Microsoft has positive exposure to OpenAI. I mean, they essentially own the company, but it's complicated. They only own 50% or something like that, and it's because it's a nonprofit, blah, 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 blah. But it's Microsoft. Buy Microsoft if you think that this is going to be a good investment. Am I buying more? I'm not buying more Microsoft. I just have a lot, and I'm not ever going to sell it probably because Microsoft is a good company, in my opinion. I like the stock. Not good in an ethical sense necessarily, by the way. All right. Well, that is going to be the news for today. GameStop, OpenAI, it never fails. There's always something around the corner. We've been bored. We have been absolutely dragging our brains across the cement in boredom as Bitcoin has just been in this consolidation to the downside. Discovery, is it price discovery? Is it consolidation? Is there going to be a dump? Should there be a dump? Yes, there should be a dump. Oh, there's no dump. Okay, well, what are we doing? Right? I think ultimately here, this is boredom. This is what boredom looks like on a chart. And it would have probably been, I was kind of expecting, now that I've kind of had some time to process this, Bitcoin probably to go ahead and move already. I'm on the weekly chart. Let me go down a couple time frames. So the 4 hour, I would have expected Bitcoin to go ahead and move already. You know, the last 4 candles on the 4 hour have been green, which is bullish. But in general, you know, when I was talking with Tim before the stream, again, over text, because his voice is all messed up from being sick, allegedly. No, he really is. I'm just kidding. He was saying we're still probably going to go sideways. So although historically, because of the GameStop headline, and we correlated it with the January 28th, 2021 timeframe and all of that, there is a big argument to be made that we could see heavy retail rotation right now. We're seeing it in GameStop, where if all that money was set aside for crazy YOLO trades, right, for GameStop, could that money potentially rotate into Bitcoin for a much more sure thing, right? Maybe. Let's take a look here at the Lux Algo oscillator matrix on the 4 hour. You can see this is looking much more bullish, right? But this is the 4 hour. We did get a reversal dot here. It's pretty small. You might not be able to see it. But out on the daily chart, this looks a little less bullish. Got a lower high here, a higher low, which is nice to see. A reversal dot and a reversal dot down here. So candy on the hyperwave and below the median there. I mean, you're starting to see a potential argument for bullishness, right? Real bullishness, like breakout. You do have Bitcoin potentially printing the first candle above this downtrending line of support from this descending wedge, right? That's pretty nice to see. That would be bullish if we could get a print basically above 62,100-ish, somewhere in that region. That would be bullish. Heck, if we could get it, this would be the first candle to print above 61,300. We talked about that this morning, right? It's an important level because of these candlesticks here, and also because of, if we could zoom out to the monthly. Before I do that, the point I'm making is that if we can, this isn't even touching that line, right? We have a wick down to it, but this would be a complete candlestick close above that 61.3. Why is that level significant? If we go out to the monthly, I'm going to circle back with the chat here after this, because look at this. This 61.3, I can zoom in even more, and I can do it for free. Hey, we're rhyming. We're having fun. This 61.3 level coincides with these candlestick closes back here. Okay. So now we know. Now we know that there's some very bullish clouds forming in the sky right now. You know, opening up the possibility for a move. The opportunity is there. Will it be enough to entice investors, to entice money off the sidelines and into Bitcoin? Ask yourself this question. Are you buying more Bitcoin now? Right? It takes people opening up terminals and buying Bitcoin for the price to go up. Are you buying Bitcoin right now? Let me know. Let me know in the chat, because it's actually something I kind of interested in. Are you looking at these charts and thinking I should buy Bitcoin? Whether as a trade or as a hold, as a long-term investment, let me know. Are you buying Bitcoin? Because if there's people not buying Bitcoin, then Bitcoin price not going to go up. Right? Now, just because the people in this chat aren't buying Bitcoin doesn't mean that the price won't go up, because there's other people. But I think we could get a nice little representative sample. A little bit of degens, a little bit of institutional, just the bros, right? Get the bro sample. Okay, so Eric Wallen said he's buying BitX and ETF, so that's a yes. He is buying Bitcoin exposed products, you know, anticipating exposing himself further to Bitcoin, which is good. Garrett Frank said, no, waiting for 60K. Okay. Now, Garrett, let me ask you this. Do you think that after the GME, after the GameStop news today, that we're still just as likely to go back down to 60,000? I mean, I assume your answer would be yes, but, you know, has that influenced your thoughts here? Pesa Pakasad said, I keep saying I will, but my average is 30K. brother, I'm in the same boat. And that's why I've been more buying altcoins, more buying MSTR and BitX, because those are likely going to have more upside by a percentage standpoint, and they'll be easier to part with at the end of the bull market, and selling Bitcoin won't be quite so painful. TJBLKRVN, I have no idea. Hopefully that's not a naughty acronym, said only if sub 60K. Okay, so you're not buying more now, and you have a suit and a tie on in your portfolio profile picture. So that is important to note as a demographic analysis here. Only buying sub 60K. So that's a smart thing to say, right? And I do think that a lot of smart investors are looking at these charts and they're thinking, we did not go low enough, right? After this huge move up, this was not enough of a pullback. So, they want 30%. People want a 30% pullback from the top of this platinum pocket where we hit the all-time high. We want 30%. That would bring us back down to 51. And I think a lot of people want blood. They want it down at 48, right? Whether that be big institutions that are going to try to manipulate, whether that be retail, smart retail, like you and me, right? Not idiots, as Tim calls us sometimes. Zachary Martin said, we don't trust suits and ties here. Yes, we do. I don't think I've ever worn a suit and tie, but we don't have to trust, but we can verify. I think that's a Ronald Reagan quote. Trust but verify. B-Ball Golf 72 said, I think the average person looking to buy Bitcoin doesn't see/know the GameStop correlation. Correct. They don't know the historical significance, I think, of the GameStop moment. But I don't think you need to know the historical context to act at present, because the same forces are alive and well, if that makes sense. Just because my favorite sports team, won a championship 10 years ago doesn't mean that I'm going to go play today. I'm going to go to watch their, go pay money to buy a ticket and watch them today, right? But if the same conditions, they get a good quarterback, they get a good coach, the weather's great, whatever it is, that might, those things are the types of things that get people into the stadium to cheer louder and win championships. I don't think that's too bad of an analogy to make. TJB coming back, trying to defend himself a little bit. He said, wedding photos, give me my b-ball shorts. So he's saying that this profile pic that he chose was a profile pic from a wedding, okay? So he's not somebody who's you're going to catch in a suit and tie a lot. He more than likely would be in basketball shorts if you catch him, which right now, I will admit, I am in basketball shorts. Yes, indeed. Garrett Frank said, I don't think it will get to 50K, but 55, I believe it will in the next month or two. Yeah. Well, I gave my base case today. On Twitter, I posted it after I posted it on the 9 a.m. stream. Let me give you guys my base case here. And this was, let me let you know, this was before I really started seeing the GameStop headlines. This does seem about right. Of course, Bitcoin will probably defy what seems right to the market. And this is kind of what I had drawn out, right? Is it from here, and this is a weekly chart, Bitcoin makes a play higher, right? Gets back into the platinum pocket, but ultimately gets resistance somewhere, maybe the midline, and then falls back down. Hope resumes, and then a plunge down to the 0.5, which would take us down to 48. And then from there, you get a full flush and reset of the market to the upside. We go. Right. That just makes sense to me, right? Does that mean that this has to happen? Absolutely not. Does this mean that I have like all of my money in cash so that I can time this down here? No, that's not a smart way to trade. If you have conviction in an asset, you should be allocated in that asset in the case that it moves up in accordance with your conviction, in accordance with the thesis that you bought it for, right? Don't sit in cash. You're going to miss out, right? If you think that way. But I do have some cash on the sideline waiting for lower prices. Now, I might not buy Bitcoin. I might buy AVAX. I might buy Cardano. During this pullback, and those assets are going to move to the downside as well. And why would I buy those? Why not buy Bitcoin? Because those are going to have a much bigger, a more pronounced percentage gain to the upside. So we're having fun, we're learning, we're grooving, we're missing Tim. Last thing I'll cover here from Crypto Rover said in exactly 10 days, it is the final deadline for the spot Ethereum ETF, and the chances of approval is 60%. I don't know where the heck he's getting 60%. Do you think it'll happen? Let me know, chat. Do you think we are going to go ahead and get the spot ETF on in late May? 60%. I don't know where the heck Crypto Rover is getting 60%. According to this Polymarket line, betting line, Ethereum ETF approved by May 31st, there's a 16% chance. Now it's come up. It has kind of rounded the bottom here. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That's barely good. Okay. It's rounded the bottom here, but this is not. I mean, 16. Come on. It's not even 50. It's not even 40. Right? Not good. Not good odds. But this is just one market spread. Maybe I've been looking at bad spreads. Let me retype this into Polymarket. I don't think. Here's another spread on this. 19%, and there's no chart. So my guess is that this is the we saw it. Right? We saw it. It's 19%. I don't know where the heck Crypto Rover is getting. Maybe he's just being provocative. 60%. So we'll see. I think what happens with the spot Ethereum ETF is that it gets denied, and then some of the biggest Wall Street firms that you know of, BlackRock, Fidelity, and a bunch of smaller firms that you don't know of that are issuing these ETFs are going to take the SEC to court, hopefully through a combined class action, Grayscale, another name in there that would be suing the SEC, and they're going to win, right? And then Ethereum will get an ETF, and nobody will buy it because it makes more sense to just hold the Ethereum and stake it, right? But, some institutions, I suppose, will buy some Ethereum. Look, I don't think that the Ethereum ETF not getting passed is all that bullish. I think you win if it does, for sure. I think price probably goes higher. But I think that even if we don't get the ETF in this chapter of the saga with the SEC, I think it's going to be fine. Because most people who bought Ethereum did not buy it because an ETF was going to be coming. They bought it because of what Ethereum is. Now, you can hem and haw and say, oh, there's other blockchains that are better than Ethereum. Yes, but they're not Ethereum. And Ethereum has a market cap that is greater than all other chains. Besides, I heard you say it, Bitcoin. All right, bros, it has been my honor. It has been my pleasure. Let me know. What do you guys want me to look at here project-wise? Let me know if you have any questions. Looks like there might be some questions here. Kyle Field said they're changing the legal language around staking ETH. Yeah, they're especially the Grayscale application amendments kind of signal to the market that the staking of Ethereum within the ETF context is going to be tricky, right? At least, and that might be a major reason why the SEC is having issues passing it. Might be that would be like the best case scenario for the SEC, that they're actually looking into the details, not that they're just acting on behalf of those who are lining their pockets. Oop, did I say that out loud? Cube said, do you think that money may not flow into the altcoins as much as people think because a large portion of the inflows are from the Bitcoin ETF and later ETH ETFs? Potentially, we could have a limited altcoin season, is kind of what you're asking. I think this time is different because of the ETFs and how they've kind of played out. And then also I would point to the fact that the meme season has been basically around. There was a brief one over the summer of 2023 in July, right? We saw big movements in some of the meme coins, and then pretty much since December, the meme coins have been relevant, right? And some of them have been actually creating some wealth for people, some generational wealth. People making some actual money in the meme coin world, and they do seem to be more significant. But what I would say is I think it was can't remember who said this. I think it might have been Scaramucci in that debate that he had with Peter Schiff recently. I think he said that meme coins actually account for like less than 1% of trading volume of crypto in general. And that has a lot to do with how much, Bitcoin and Ethereum are traded. But, meme coins, they seem really big. They seem really robust. And I know I brought up this point. I'm trying to answer the question of Cube, but I don't know that they are like. The point I'm making here is that yes, we could definitely see a different alt season this time around, and it could be because of the ETFs. It could be because of memes taking a lot of, if not significant actual market share and trading volume share. Could be just psychological share, right? Where people look at crypto and they see a bunch of memes and they're like, what is this real? And then the person that is bringing them into crypto is like, oh, kind of no, those aren't actually real, but they are. And then it's confusing. And it's not the conversation of, ooh, what is Bitcoin? Oh, well, it's better money. It's on a blockchain. It's decentralized. It's immutable. And they're like, smart people are like, ooh, there's something there. Okay, let me buy into this whole crypto deal. So, but a lot of people get into crypto. I actually had a conversation with Crux one time, and the conclusion that we reached is that Bitcoin and meme coins are what bring people into crypto, right? Bitcoin, they bring in the smart people, you could argue. And then meme coins, they bring in I'm not going to call them dumb because they're not dumb, right? If you're buying something because it's low and then you think it's going to go high, that's not dumb. It might be misguided, it might be wrong, but I wouldn't say it's dumb. But they come in and they're coming in more for the culture of it. You know, they feel like they're getting in on some kind of financial thing that's fun, that some smart person they know has made money doing. But they come in through the Bitcoin, they come in through through the meme coins, and they usually stay for the altcoins if they are willing to do their own research and subscribe to channels like ours and others, and really understand some of these projects in the depth with them. Then they're going to find some other projects to invest in. You know, projects like Polkadot or ICP or Ethereum or Chainlink or Cardano or Stacks, Ondo, Matic. What's the one I'm thinking of? I can't remember it. The one that starts with a Pendle. That's what I was thinking of. So yeah, I mean that's and those are going to be some of those that I just named. You know, on the coin market cap, those are going to do very, very well if the bull market keeps with its historical price movement. Those coins are going to do pretty well. Meme coins, we could see there's a scenario where, a switch is flipped, where the market goes from degenerate meme coin trading and investing, and all of that degeneracy liquidity rotates into, real utility, large caps, because they're now investing in the bull market, right? I don't know. We could see. I mean, the timing is definitely strange this time. This also comes to mind, the path to alt season. If you don't have this, take a screenshot. I'm not going to break it down for you in this episode, but this is a good answer as well. There's some good nuggets in this to the question that was asked. Let's see what else we got here. Cube says, that's definitely true for me. Came in through Dogecoin, then Bitcoin/ETH, and then to alts. Yeah. It's almost like I have the pulse of crypto. I've got my thumb right on it. No, I don't claim to. I know what I know, and you all know what I know because I talk about it. But I'm definitely not a genius. Nathan Sherwood said, the idea that digital copies of games are superior is questionable. That's an interesting comment of all the things that I said today. I don't know. It seems superior to me. I suppose that you could say that physical copies are going to, like if the grid goes down, like physical copies might be better because you can play them. But nowadays, a lot of games are reliant on the internet. Like Fortnite comes to mind. Like there's offline things that you can do with it, but for the most part, you're on there because you can beat noobs, right? You can get and shoot noobs, and you can have fun online. I don't know. You tell me. Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the chat. Which is better, physical games or digital games? For me, I haven't bought a physical game in years, right? And the ones that I do own are GameCube, and it's just because I don't want to, I think it might be worth something someday, and I'm probably wrong, but, it's a GameCube. I don't want to get rid of it. Physical is better. You own it, not leasing it. Yeah, but when I buy a game on Steam or on Xbox or PlayStation, I own it. I own the game. I'm not leasing it. So what do you mean by that? GameStop sucks, in my opinion. Not the stock, but the experience of going there. Like, there's things that they could do to change it, to grow. Let's see. Believer72 said, Investing Bros, the Hedera BlackRock news was true. why did y'all contribute to the FUD? Ignorance or dishonesty? It was neither ignorance or dishonesty. Believer72, thanks for tuning in. This is a good question. So the way that we covered that was with honesty, and the honesty was that we were ignorant to some extent in the first moments, just like everyone else was. And the price of Hedera reflected that. A huge spike to the upside, 100% move, and then a move down, right? So there was clearly, it wasn't just us that was confused. You could call it ignorant, or you could say confused. And then I spent about 2 hours researching, trying to figure out what was going on with Hedera. I figured it out, and then we reported accordingly. And I stand by how we reported it. This is Hedera. If you're not sure what he's talking about here, there was a huge move to the upside, and then the market has since repriced it. So one pretty easy point I would make here is, where did that comment go? Is, you're saying the Hedera BlackRock was true. To be honest with you, I'm one of the, I think, rare influencers in the crypto space who actually agrees with you. I think that it was true. It depends what exactly you are saying is true or not, because it's complicated. But clearly, if it was true in the way that the market thought it was true in the first minutes of hearing the news, that BlackRock had tapped. If what you think is true is that BlackRock tapped Hedera, that's false. What is true is that BlackRock had already been working with an intermediary, a third party, that tapped Hedera. Right? That is what's true. And so there is a good solid connection between Hedera and BlackRock, and that still exists to my knowledge. Right? But if it was BlackRock tapping Hedera, which is what the market thought through this moment here, then and that was true, and there was no intermediary, and Larry Fink is shaking hands with the members of Hedera, and everybody's meeting, and it's going to be the next big thing. It's going to replace Swift and all this. Then you would have Hedera way up here at 36, maybe even higher, right? At least 300, 500% gains, right? And we don't see that. In fact, we saw Hedera give back a lot. But in your defense, right? And this is, I think, an adequate price for Hedera. It came basically back to, right? If we go out to the weekly, it basically came back to its average. Right? It spiked up and then just kind of came back to this level of consolidation right around 10 cents, 10 to 12 cents. All right, that comment probably shouldn't have gotten that much attention, but there we go. You're doing what's right, says Joseph Lopsa. Until servers go down or the devs/company decides to kill the game. But these are like, okay, first of all, it's a video game, right? It's not water. It's not electricity or the internet itself. It's a video game. So if you lose it, theoretically, you could just crack open a book and read a book or have a conversation with somebody. But don't get me wrong, I love video games. If I didn't have them, I would be very sad. I'm not saying that. But it's a pretty extreme thing to think that the servers are going to go down for an extended period. Servers go down for video games all the time, but if it goes down for an extended period of time, you bought it, yeah, technically, I suppose you'd be at a loss, but then it's like, well, how many hours did you put into that game? Had you just bought it? Then yeah, there's an argument for maybe some compensation on that front. But if you've played, like I have, potentially hundreds of hours of a video game, I think you've received $60 or however much you paid for the video game's worth in value. Why are we talking about video games? I love this. Let's see. B-Ball Golf 72 said, but I don't want the book. I want the video game. Hey, I'm right there with you. Hedera, okay, so the saga continues. Believer 72. Hedera is tokenizing BlackRock assets. That is a fact. And BlackRock knew about it. Yes, both of those are accurate. I do not disagree with those statements. What I will say is that there's a nuance. Is that, and here's the question I would love to know if you know the answer to. How many intermediaries are tokenizing BlackRock's assets? Right? Because I don't think it's just, what was the name? AngelX, I think is the name of it, or something like that was the name of that company. ArcX, that's what it was. How many companies like ArcX are out there that are tokenizing these assets, because it looked to me like it's similar to where a bunch of different like kind of how there's a bunch of different issuers of spot Bitcoin. There can be a bunch of different issuers of BlackRock's assets, if that makes sense. And it could be the case that there is only one. And if that's the case, then Hedera is underbought today. But my guess is that Hedera is priced where it is because is priced very modestly in relative to having a BlackRock in association to it. That is the case because AngelX or ArcX is not exclusive. I'm trying to find this freaking company for you guys. I can't find it. But it's something like that, right? It's some small company. ArcX. Anybody in the chat know what the heck is going on here? The name of it? Believer72 said, "Okay, thanks for your comments." Yeah, absolutely, man. I am nothing but excited by your conversation here, because that, to be honest with you, like, we respond to what's happening in the news, in the charts today, right? Returning to old issues is something that I welcome. Like, if you remember something, especially if you feel like we didn't cover it great, bring it up. We'll address it. I'll tell you if you're wrong, right, or if I disagree, but I think that was a good back and forth there. Let me know what you guys think. Cube said, a BlackRock spokesperson confirmed it has no commercial relationship with Hedera, nor has BlackRock selected Hedera to tokenize any BlackRock funds. Their intermediary, ArcX. Thank you so much. ArcX. This is AX, not EX. Here it is. Intermediary, ArcX. Oh gosh, I lost it. ArcX, those to do that. Their intermediary, ArcX, chose to do that. And so this is also true. And that's why this is why the markets matter, because the markets right now are pricing Hedera. And this wick here was when Hedera went 100% to the upside on the BlackRock news. Well, the markets know. The markets know better than you do. Sometimes they don't, but 99% of the time the markets know better than you. They're front running everything you could know, right? And unless what's his name, Believer72 knows something that the rest of the market doesn't, which is possible, right? Then this is adequately priced. HBAR is worth 10 cents, almost 11 cents right now, right? That is an adequate price. The market is doing its job, right? And in my opinion, and this is my own personal insight, is a lot of it is because I think that the market knows that there can be multiple of these. There's not going to be one intermediary that tokenizes for BlackRock. There's going to be lots of them, right? Otherwise, this company, whatever it is extremely undervalued, and HBAR is extremely undervalued, right? But if I knew that, if I knew if that was true, that ArcX is the only one, then I would be putting all of my life savings into HBAR, if I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, I don't, and obviously, the market doesn't. They thought it was possible, and that's why the price got sent 100% higher. But then it retraced because the market rethought it. And since then, has not had that same euphoria. Bros, you know him, you love him, he's Tim, and he unfortunately couldn't join us today. Will he join us tomorrow? We'll have to tune in to find out. We go live 9 a.m., 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single weekday. That's Monday through Friday, and on Saturdays, you get that bonus stream at 11 a.m. Now, bros, this Saturday, your boy T-Shroom will not be in attendance. Why? Where will you be, T-Shroom? I will be at my bachelor party. Yes, and that's the sound effect that I will be hearing, because we are going to probably go to the gun range. Not because I'll be engaged in any kind of crime. But I will... Oh, it just started pouring rain outside. I will be doing that on Saturday, so I won't be here, and likely I won't be on the 3 p.m. stream on Friday. Pretty likely I probably will be on the 9 a.m. stream. Bros, it is so much fun to do this. And I miss Tim. I wish he was here, but I do like to just jive and shuck with you guys. Shuck and jive and just cut it up. Have a little bit of analysis and just have some fun, right? It just seems like throughout the week there's always so many problems that we're having to solve. You know, there's groaning, there's the kids not being appreciative, the car needs maintenance, the house needs new AC, the lizard needs new food. You haven't gotten food for that lizard. Just get rid of it. Take it to a shelter. But at 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we can come together and put all of those worries aside and just spend time together, spend some time looking at the charts, even if it's Hedera. Even if it's Hedera or GameStop. Did you ever think that we'd be talking about GameStop last week? I bet you didn't, but we are, because it's up 75%. Bros, thank you so much for tuning in. It has been an absolute pleasure to bring you this information. If you're trading today, keep those stop losses tight. And if you're having difficult conversations with loved ones, keep your voice steady and calm. The first one to get emotional loses the argument. And if you're staying hydrated, then that's good. Keep staying hydrated. Bye.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.